What's up, you guys? Steve here, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you the never seen before video footage and audio footage of what unfolded on January 6th at the Capitol riots. Now, this was unveiled yesterday in the Senate impeachment trial. This was day 2 for former President Donald Trump. So we're going to be taking a look at what unfolded there against President Donald Trump, and then just to make sure I keep it bipartisan, I just like to present the news, we're going to be also taking a look at conservative perspectives of what unfolded yesterday as well. So we're going to dive right in. I'm going to share this with you guys, but we've also received word from Republicans in the Senate saying this impeachment trial is not going to go anywhere because they've already done the pre-voting that's revealed there's not enough Republicans to push through this impeachment. But we'll see what unfolds, and I wanted to share this video footage with you guys today. So we're going to dive right in. We're going to take a look at this that was unveiled yesterday in the Senate for the first time. But before we do, if you could do me a quick favor, it'll just take a second. If you like and appreciate these updates of what's unfolding, why don't you just go ahead and take a second to smash the like button. I would appreciate it. It helps out the channel. Like button, leaving comments, and sharing these videos. It helps me out. Thank you so much. And if you're not already part of the viewing community and you'd like to see more updates, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and while you're at it, go ahead and follow me on Instagram at SteveRam3. But now let's go ahead and dive in. Let's take a look at this video footage together of what unfolded in the Senate, and then also a conservative perspective of what unfolded as well. So let's go ahead and dive right in.
Radio communications from the Metropolitan Police Department highlight how during and following President Trump's speech, Trump supporters descended on the Capitol and became increasingly violent. What you are about to hear has not been made public before.
Multiple capital entries! Multiple capital entries!
1318.
812 to 5th, and we're coming around from the south side.
Be advised the speed ended.
Intel 1, be advised, you got a group of about 50 charging up the hill in the west front, just north of the stairs. They're approaching the wall now.
They're starting to dismantle their reviewing stands and throwing metal poles at us. Cruiser 50, give me DSO up here now! DSO! Multiple law enforcement entries! DSO, get up here!
In another radio communication between Metropolitan Police officers, you can hear an officer declare that there is a riot at the Capitol at 1:49 p.m.
Cruiser 50, we're going to give riot warnings. As soon as the apparatus is here, we're going to give riot warnings. We're going to try and get compliance, but this is now effectively a riot.
1349 hours declaring it a riot.
We are seeing the inside view as the mob approaches from outside and beats the windows and doors. You can see that the rioter first break the window with the wooden beam that you saw previously, and a lone police officer inside responds and begins to spray the first man who enters, but is quickly overwhelmed. I want you to pay attention to the first group of assailants as they break into the building. The second man through the window is wearing full tactical body armor and is carrying a baseball bat. Others are carrying riot shields. Among this group are members of the Proud Boys, some of whom, like Dominic Pizzola, who was recently indicted on federal conspiracy charges we will discuss later. In this security footage, you can see Officer Goodman running to respond to the initial breach. Officer Goodman passes Senator Mitt Romney and directs him to turn around in order to get to safety. On the first floor, just beneath them, the mob had already started to search for the Senate chamber. Officer Goodman made his way down to the first floor. On the left-hand side of the video, just inside the hallway, is the door to the Senate chamber. And watch how Officer Goodman provokes the rioters and purposefully draws them away from the door to the Senate chamber and towards the other officers waiting down the hall. The rioter seen carrying a baseball bat in this video is the same one we saw moments ago breaching the window on the first floor. While all of this was going on, Vice President Pence was still in the room near the Senate chamber. It was not until 2:26 that he was evacuated to a secure location. This next security video shows that evacuation. His movements are depicted by the orange dot in our model. The red and blue dots represents the location where the mob and Officer Goodman were, and where Officer Goodman led the mob away from the chamber just moments ago. You can see Vice President Pence and his family quickly move down the stairs. The Vice President turns around briefly as he's headed down. About the same time, Capitol Police announced that Capitol had been breached. Speaker Pelosi's staff heeded the call to shelter in place. As you can see here, the staff moves from their offices through the halls and then enters a door on the right-hand side. That's the outer door of a conference room, which also has an inner door that they barricaded with furniture. The staff then hid under a conference room table in that inner room. This is the last staffer going in and then barricading themselves inside of the inner office. After just 7 minutes of them barricading themselves and the last staffer entering the door on the right, a group of rioters enter the hallway outside. And once inside, the rioters have free reign in the Speaker of the House's offices. In this security video, pay attention to the door that we saw those staffers leading into and going into. One of the rioters you can see is throwing his body against the door 3 times until he breaks open that outer door. Luckily, when faced with the inner door, he moves on.
This security footage, which does not have sound, shows a close-up of Trump's mob as they move toward the second floor of the House chamber to stop the counting of votes. This security video shows Ashley Babbitt, followed by others in the mob, turning the corner toward the House lobby doors where the members were leaving. This security video from 2:56 p.m. shows the mob in the House of Representatives wing on the second floor of the Capitol. Insurrectionists who are still inside the building are fighting with the police, who are overwhelmed and trying to get them out. In this security video, you can see how the Capitol Police created a line and blocked the hallway with their bodies to prevent rioters at the end of the hall from reaching you and your staff. Additional security footage shows how Leader Schumer and the members of his protective detail had a near miss with the mob. They came within just yards of rioters and had to turn around. Going up the ramp with his detail, he'll soon go out of view. Seconds later, they return and run back down the hallway, and officers immediately shut the door and used their bodies to keep them safe. Here's an audio recording from the radio traffic of the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department describing the violence.
Cruiser 50 and Coffee were still taking rocks, bottles, and pieces of flag and metal poles. Cruiser 50, the crowd is using munitions against us. They have bear spray in the crowd. Bear spray in the crowd.
In a separate Metropolitan Police Department radio traffic recording, you can hear an officer when he realizes that the insurrectionists had overtaken the police line.
We lost the line. We lost the line. All MPD, pull back. All MPD, pull back up to the upper deck. All MPD, pull back to the upper deck. ASAP. All MPD, come back to the upper deck.
Hours after members of the House and Senate had left this area, on the west front of the building, the mob continued to grow, continued to beat the officers as they tried to get in. In this new security video, you can see the mob attacking officers with a crutch, a hockey stick, a bullhorn, and a Trump flag.
So there you guys have it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. That was from day 2 in the Senate trial of former President Donald Trump. Now let's go ahead and take a look at a conservative perspective, as yesterday on Sean Hannity, we heard from Mark Levin and his perspective of what unfolded as well. So let's go ahead and take a look.
Make no mistake, what is happening in the Senate, the sewer, the swamp is just theater, complete with hysteria, hyperbole, and of course, rank hypocrisy. Here to explain more, I call him the Great One, host of Life, Liberty, Levin, #1 show, Sundays, 8 p.m. right here on the Fox News Channel, and nationally syndicated radio host Mark Levin. Mark, this is your wheelhouse. You've got 7.5 minutes.
Well, thank you. First of all, we are watching one of the stupidest events by some of the stupidest people in American history, and history will fix this. We have a man who slept with a Chinese spy as one of the House Democrat managers. We have a man in Raskin who was one of the most loud opponents in one of the recent past elections of certifying electors. We have a political party that cheered on Antifa and Black Lives Matter and called federal law enforcement stormtroopers. And here they are, bringing this Soviet-style case against the President of the United States. Have there ever been many stupid members of Congress in your life? And the senators sit there? None of them walk out and say, I'm not going to participate in something so unconstitutional? Let me show you how preposterous this is. Where's the video of Donald Trump over and over and over again supporting law enforcement and law and order? Where are the videos of the police groups endorsing Donald Trump for President of the United States? They didn't show that. Then we have an insurrection. It's a very weird thing. We had Mark Meadows, the former chief of staff to the former president, on national TV on Sunday. Maria Bartiromo's program said President of the United States, Trump, called or made available 10,000 National Guardsmen to Washington, D.C. in early January. So let me get this straight, Raskin. So the President of the United States was leading a militia, an insurrection, against the very National Guardsmen he called up. Now, does that make sense to anybody? No, that doesn't make sense to anybody. And why would they wait until January 6th to have this insurrection? Well, they were going to count the electors. Well, if you're going to lead an insurrection, you don't care if they're counting electors or not. Why didn't you do it 5 days after the election? In fact, they hadn't even started counting the electors when this insurrection began, this attack on the Capitol building. Now, let me tell something to the American people. Every single video that was introduced by Raskin and the other stooges on the left is inadmissible in any court in America, in any advanced society. They have no reliable information, no relevant guide of any kind to anything, period. It has, all it is inflammatory. Affidavits signed by defendants that are drawn up by their lawyers, making these generalizations. Yes, I attacked and I committed crimes because I thought Donald Trump was directing me. It doesn't matter. The tooth fairy, they can think, directed them. That has no relevance. That would be inadmissible in a court of law. Well, Donald Trump spent months raising the illegitimacy of this election. Stolen election, allegations of fraud. That has absolutely no legal relevance either. If it did, we should take some crime tape and wrap it around the whole damn Capitol building and apply it to every member of the House and Senate. But even more than that, does everybody remember the post office was underfunded? Everybody remember the disappearance of mailboxes? Everybody remember how the Democrats and the media were saying Donald Trump is going to suppress the vote in black and minority communities? LeBron James, we don't have enough remember all that? Setting the stage so if Donald Trump won re-election to claim that it was illegitimate. The Russia collusion crowd is back. The liars, the pathological liars are back. Just because they're dressed up as congressmen and senators doesn't much matter. What's lacking here? All the talk, all the video, what's lacking? Evidence. Where's the evidence that Donald Trump worked with a single one of these individuals or a single one of these groups? There is no evidence. Where's the evidence that anything he said in that speech resulted in the attack on that Capitol? Lindsey Graham has said it. It was in the New York Times of all places. This was all pre-planned. The FBI knew it might be coming. They were tipped off about it. There are many questions. What the hell did the FBI know and when did it know it? We know that the Sergeant at Arms of the House was told by the former chief of the Capitol Police, you better get some National Guardsmen here and more help. What did he do? Nothing. Did he tell Nancy Pelosi? That would be a good question. Not only that, the Sergeant at Arms of the Senate was told. Well, who does that person report to? He reported to McConnell. Well, what did McConnell know? What did they do? It seems the only person that called up the National Guard for potential use was Donald Trump and nobody else. So what else? We're to believe that Donald Trump was going to send militants up against the National Guard. We're to believe that Donald Trump was planning day after day, for months after months, according to these House managers, an insurrection right in front of our faces. We just didn't know it. Now, here's the thing. The problem is, let me read you some language. Let me read you some language and ask you. I wrote an example of language that I think that might be insightful and incendiary. Suppose Donald Trump said, I want to tell you, Pelosi, I want to tell you, Schumer, you have released the whirlwind and you will pay the price. You won't know what hit you if you go forward with these awful decisions. What if Donald Trump said that? Then they may have a point, right? But Donald Trump didn't say that. That's what Chuck Schumer said on the steps of the Supreme Court of the United States. He said, I want to tell you, Pelosi, I want to tell you, Gorsuch, I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind and you will pay the price. You won't know what hit you if you go forward with these awful decisions. So Raskin and Swalwell and the other stooges, you think that's pretty insightful? Yeah, it's very insightful. One other thing. They stormed the Capitol, overturned the results of the election they didn't vote in. CNN did a little bit of a review of some of these people who've been charged with crimes. You know what they found out? A bunch of them never voted. A bunch of them never voted. What's happening here in the United States Senate is a disgrace. You don't have a right. I don't care what scholars say, my friend Ted Cruz says, or anybody else. You cannot impeach a private citizen. You cannot have a trial on a private citizen. You don't have the power to prohibit a private citizen, a former public official, from running again. We have a rogue impeachment, a rogue House, a rogue Senate, a rogue trial. And we have an innocent man in Mar-a-Lago who deserves a hell of a lot better than this. This is a disgrace. A disgrace. That's it.
Well, there you guys have it. Once again, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Now, I'll be sure to keep you guys up to date as to whatever unfolds here, as we're getting new information, new video footage that's never been seen before, and simultaneously we're hearing that there's not going to be enough support to get this done for the impeachment of former President Donald Trump. So whatever unfolds though, like I said, I'll be sure to keep you guys up to date here on the channel. And once again, you guys, if you made it this far and you haven't already, why don't you just go ahead and take a second to smash the like button. I would appreciate it. It helps out the channel. And if you're not already part of the community, be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that way as soon as I upload videos, you can get notified right away. And follow me on Instagram at SteveRam3. Well, you guys, I hope this reaches you well. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.